Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of Something About Our 20s. I'm your host, Micaiah Davis, and I'm so excited to be back and to have new episodes and talk to y'all. I feel like I haven't done a solo episode in a long time, so today I want to talk about stepping into your answered prayers and learning that we're really not in control. And I want to talk about how I've been learning this so far in my 20s. I feel like lately for my 20s, I've been wondering how I'll get to my next step career wise and feeling like I needed a sign to show me that my aspirations were achievable. I don't know if y'all feel this, but I know sometimes we have a dream in mind and we don't know how we're actually going to get there, the steps really to take. I feel like being in your 20s, sometimes you get confused on what I should do next to get towards my next goal, or if the dream that you had a few years ago, if that's actually achievable. And I've had those thoughts for like the past months. And I think last time I talked to y'all, I told y'all that I wasn't working, I was laid off, and that was for about 6 months. And during that time, I really didn't know how I was going to get to my next step. I just knew that I didn't want to be stagnant. Like, I always wanted to elevate. And one of my prayers during that, I called a time when I didn't have a job, my pause season, because I felt like God was putting me in a place where he just wanted me to focus on something else. I didn't understand why it was happening when it was happening, but I think that he gave me that time of not having to worry about work to focus on my podcast, which is a passion of mine, but also I think to prepare me for my next step. So when I wasn't working, I continued to pray that the next thing that I have, it's an elevation. Like, I had the checklist of everything that I was looking for, and I wanted to make sure that when I was about to step into something new, that it checked off everything that I was praying for. So I know we hear a lot about the phrase, everything happens for a reason. And sometimes it's hard to believe that in the moment because I feel like when bad things happen to us, we're not thinking like, well, me personally, I don't be thinking like, yeah, this is happening for a reason. I automatically think like, why is this happening to me? I automatically want to know the answer. But honestly, truthfully, me being laid off from my job, I would say I stand 10 toes on that happened for a reason because there's so much importance in preparation. So if I wouldn't have been removed from that job and shifted into this pause season, I wouldn't have had time to prepare myself and goal set. And I think that when you're praying to be in another position in life and when you're praying to elevate, you have to take some type of time to get yourself together, whether that's mentally, whether that's like even physically. This doesn't even have to do with a career. This has to do with anything like in life that you want to elevate and go to a next level with. You have to take some time to prepare yourself. And I honestly think if I didn't have that pause season, I wouldn't have been ready for my next opportunity. While I wasn't working, I gained another mentor. I had a career coach. I was networking with people. I was going to different conferences. Like, I was so focused on getting to the next level and preparing myself and strengthening my goals. Just imagine if I didn't have 6 months to do that. I honestly don't think that I would have felt ready for the next level that I was going to, that I didn't even know was about to come to me. So, just to give y'all some background, after I hadn't been working for about 6 months, I had posted on LinkedIn that I was back on the job market looking for a job, and honestly, I did not want to do that. When people talk about posting on LinkedIn, posting about their fears and stuff, I don't like that. And I feel like it has to do with being vulnerable in front of people who I don't know who's going to see this, but also like I kept thinking like people gonna be in my business knowing I'm not working right now. And I was talking to my mentor and she was like, that's what LinkedIn is for. Like, LinkedIn is the professional social media platform for you to put yourself out there so other people can see your skills and so you can potentially be hired. But truthfully, I wasn't really trying to hear that because I personally never got hired from LinkedIn before, and I haven't really heard stories about people getting hired from LinkedIn. So I didn't know if anything would come from that. But I did it anyway, and I made the post. And you know when you make a post on Instagram and you haven't been posting for a while and you like get off the app because you don't want to see if people liking it, people in the comments or something. That's exactly how I was feeling when I posted on LinkedIn. Like I posted, didn't get back on there for like 3 days. And then when I got back on there, I saw a DM from the vice president of this company, and she was like, literally verbatim, she said that she felt like the stars aligned because she had been looking for a social media editor for that company, and she saw my post. We don't follow each other on LinkedIn. Like, I've never heard of her. I wasn't really ever thinking about applying to this company before. It wasn't on my list. But I was like, yeah, I'm definitely interested. And I went through the interview process and I got hired. So the reason why I felt like this job aligned with what I was looking for in my elevation and a step up in my career is because I told myself when I wasn't working that my next job, it has to be a higher salary. Like I wasn't going for the same salary and I definitely wasn't going lower. So had to be a higher salary. I wanted to step more into entertainment news and doing what I love to do. So I have a background in journalism and I love talking to people, and I've always imagined myself like interviewing celebrities, being on the red carpet, all of that stuff. And I just wanted my next job to be more within that realm where I have those opportunities to do that. I also said that I wanted to be remote too. The job came to me. It's remote. I had to negotiate for that higher salary, but got a higher salary. And I will say, please always fight for your worth and what you know that you deserve. Like, don't settle when it comes to pay. The worst they can say is no. And if they say no, then either try to find something else if that doesn't work for you. But honestly, when you're negotiating, make sure you go up to the highest the highest. And typically they'll meet you at a place where it's still high for you, like it's still a good place for you. So that's something that I learned. And I was scared to negotiate, honestly. Like, I was scared. I was like, I don't know how to negotiate. I don't know what to say, but TikTok was my best friend. I researched how much people make in that position, and then I put it out there. I would definitely say put yourself out there for salary wise. Like, make sure that you know what you're trying to go for. But that job checked off everything off my list. I've been working there as a social media editor. It'll be a year at the end of May. And let me tell you why or how I realized that I just had to trust my journey and understand that I'm not in control. Because the fact that this lady, a vice president, saw my post on LinkedIn and DM'd me and said that they were looking for someone to fill a position, and it checked off everything off my list. Honestly, like, you truly can't tell me that isn't God. Like, it's no way that happened by chance of me. It's no way. And I think that that really gave me the confidence of like, I'm not in control and I just have to trust what's happening to me. Like, God's doing it for me and everything is going to align. And me getting this opportunity the way that I did really made me realize that, like, sometimes I just have to sit back and just see what's going to happen. As long as I'm doing my best and preparing the best way that I can and making sure I'm applying myself, whatever else happens, like, that's not in my control, because I know that what's for me is going to be for me for sure, but it's going to come at a time where I don't expect it. And honestly, it may be something that you never thought of yourself ever doing before. Like, I never thought to be working for this company before. Honestly, like, it wasn't on my list. But this has led me to opportunities that I prayed for. And one of the opportunities was recently, this past March, I went to the NAACP Image Awards, and I was able to do what little girl Micaiah always dreamt of doing. Like, do what I've always wanted to do after I graduated college. And I was able to interview celebrities, meet people, be on the red carpets, talk to people, like get social content. I really felt like this affirmed that this dream that I had in mind for years, that this is for me. Because I honestly felt like this is a part of my purpose. Like when I was doing it and I was in that moment, I let go of all my nervousness and fears. And I honestly felt like I got this. I could see myself doing this and getting a glimpse of the life that I see for myself just felt so good. And I think that it's so important to live in the moment. I know in our 20s, we're always worried about the next step and what's next, but I think that it's important to find good in every single moment that you're in life. Even if you're not in a place that you feel like you want to be, there has to be some good that's happening in your life at that moment. Like, we have to start stopping when we reach a goal or when something good happens, even if it's small. We really should start stopping and appreciating those moments. And one thing I've learned from stepping into my answered prayers is that I needed to live more in the moment. Like when I was there at the Image Awards, each day afterwards, I took time to really think back on that whole day and really express gratitude, because I feel like I wasn't doing that before. When good things happened to me or when I reached a goal, I was like, okay, yeah, what's next? But I feel like, why are we always worried about what's next when something right here in front of us is what we prayed for, is what we wanted? And I think that if you don't have gratitude, that could kind of stop your blessings sometimes, in my opinion. So I think that it's important to definitely make sure you have gratitude, but also know that when you're stepping into these answered prayers, that different negative things might come with it, such as imposter syndrome. I know for me, when I reach a goal, I start feeling like, is this really for me? Is this really meant for me? And I start coming in with that self-doubt. And when those moments happen, I think I have to reaffirm myself, like, if this is happening to me, it's for me. There's no way that this is by chance. Like, I'm qualified. I can do this. I know that I'm prepared to do this. And even if I'm not, I'm going to fake it till I make it. But you have to continue to have that self-confidence within yourself, and please don't get in your own way. Because if you get in your own way, that could ruin that beautiful moment. And sometimes I think when you reach a place where you feel like you're elevating, they say new levels, new devils. Like, you really have to make sure that you have that self-confidence instilled in you and that you're reaffirming yourself, but also pay attention to the people that's around you, because when you're reaching these goals, it's important to have people around you who believe in you. If you're talking about what you've been achieving and big opportunities that you have coming up and just your happiness, and you have people around you that are not reaffirming you or not motivating you or don't seem like they believe in you, you have to let them go, because all that's going to do is tear you down and make you feel like you're not worthy of that. And that's not right. So I think surrounding yourself with people who truly believe in you and your vision, whatever you feel like you want to do in life, is so important. And make sure you appreciate those people too, because it's not often where you find people who truly are rooting for you. Hold on to them. Those are the things that I really learned from stepping into my answer prayers, and then from being in my pause season. I don't feel like I lived in the moment during my pause season. I was so worried about when I was going to get my next job, when I really should have been appreciating not having to worry about waking up for a 9 to 5 and worrying about work. Like, I should have just been living life, enjoying my free time, because now I barely have time to, juggle the things that I have to juggle. When in those 6 months, I should have just been living free doing me. I was, but I should have took advantage of that more and not been so down and sad about it. And I really should have used that time to rest more, do the things that I won't be able to do when I start working. And I think that's important. Like, even when you're in the down season, think about the things that you can be doing in that moment that you know you're not going to be able to do once you reach whatever goal you're trying to get to. And don't forget to celebrate yourself and take advantage of where you are in life right now. Our 20s are hard enough. So have fun with it. I feel like I'm 25 and I'm just now feeling like I'm reaching a level where I'm stepping into like my goals career wise, as far as really feeling like I'm doing what I want to do. So it could come to you at 25, it come to you at 27, it come to you at 30. I don't know, but it's going to come. And I think that we just have to continue to have faith and know that life, like, yeah, there's going to be roadblocks in our 20s, but there are going to be so many good things that are going to happen for us. So try not to get too down on yourself if you're not where you want to be. And I would say just make sure you surround yourself with good energy, positive people, and don't give up on yourself. And even if you have to pivot, that's okay. Like, you got this. But thank y'all for listening to me. I hope that y'all took something from this. I want to start doing more solo episodes to talk to y'all a little bit. So, yeah, make sure you tune in for the next episode of Something About Our 20s. Talk to y'all later. Woo! Okay, that's a wrap, David.